Hey, Topic Life Math and History, and we are going to take a look at stocks, savings, and bonds, and how they affect the economy. So, we probably learned about this in the last video, national savings. We've also learned about what happens in a closed economy. Not only that, what are the private savings, and also the public savings. So what we're going to do is one question. How are stocks, savings, and bonds going to affect the economy? Well, to understand how that works, and to understand how it helps the economy develop, because not only they help the economy, but they also build the economy by making new firms and companies. So we have three definitions that we have to kind of take a look at before we get onto this level of the video. So you probably understand what the word save means. So save probably means like you're the superhero saving the day. Well, not only that, you get to save your money, and the money that you earn but don't use can be put into your savings, like a bank, for example. So when you put money into a savings account at a bank, they always give you interest. So over time, in years or months, they'll give you, for example, 0.1% of your savings. That means if I put $100 into my savings, I would probably get around like 1 cent or something like that. But if I put in more, I get more because the percentage comes from that. So savings means you get money into a savings account and it grows over time. If you're in the finance world, saving alone is not going to help you because you make very little money. The other thing that we can do is the word invest. So invest is actually a lot more fun to do, but also creates a lot more risk. And the law of investment is greater risk equals greater return. So that means even though you're more risky, you can still get a lot more in money. However, there's a chance that you can lose a lot of money. So we gotta be careful of what we invest. So invest happens when you put money into a company, like a stock, for example, but also the company uses that money to grow or buy something to help their company. And after a certain time of years, or other investors come in and buy that company, like the stock market, they will give you in return. So basically, if you put money into a stock or some kind of production and it grows, not only you get the money, but you're also helping the company at the same time. So what the word is saying is, you can not only grow your money, but help the company at the same time. If the company succeeds, you succeed. If the company fails, you go down with it. So now, let's take a look at what the word interest means. So interest is basically the amount of money that you grow after you save on something. And not only that, we talked about that interest is usually in a percentage in mathematics. Savings is the primary way of learning what interest is. However, sometimes interest can be good and sometimes it can be terrible. Did you know if you talk about the finance world or if you learn this content in personal finance or to manage your money or personal management, stocks and bonds are actually called an investment because you give a government or the town or a company money and you get something in return. If you help them, they help you. If you lose them, they lose you. But in economics, it's actually no joke, but all of this is counted for savings. If you talk about personal finance, this and that are investments. If you talk about economics, the definitions are these two are savings. But why do we call them different things? If you put this into a perspective, if you take a look at the stock market, you realize that the stock companies, over time, in maximum years, or if you look at the 10-year perspective, they're gonna keep increasing. And that tells you that even though it is an investment in the finance world, but it's sort of a risk in a nutshell, it's not really gambling, or it's not really risk because what you wanna look for is a long-term investment. Put money into a stock and leave it there for it to grow for decades. That's the same thing with government bonds and municipal bonds as well. Municipal bonds. So let's understand what these mean. So we already know that the stock market is you put money into a stock and a company. We understood how to do that when we learned the word investment. But what is a bond? How is it different than a stock? Well, bonds are not included in terms of firms usually. Sometimes you can, but bonds are another way of saving in the economic world. You can put money into a government bond or put money into a municipal bond, or I don't know how you say it, but municipal means the town government or a city government. What they do is, since the country is made of infrastructure like buildings and other things, they use the money that you bought with bonds and help them complete their construction project or complete their whatever it is. Could be nature or environmental thing or blah blah blah. But after they finish the job, they give you back money in return. However, since it's savings, the government has to give you more money because there is some kind of interest. So, here's a summary. Stocks are more companies, and also, you go up, they go up, you go down, they go down. But bonds are, you help the government, they build for you, and give you back in return. Bonds are less risky than stocks, but stocks give you more reward than bonds. Bonds can not only help the government, but they could also help someone that's trying to form a new company. So here is something that's a little bit more risky in terms of bonds. They're called jump bonds. So these kind of bonds are actually a way to give you a lot of money into a growing company. However, if the company is small or has started out, it's a very high risk because sometimes that company doesn't have years of experience. And not only that, they have to grow their company very slowly. If that company fails, they can't return the bonds to you. They lose money, you lose money. So jump bonds are very, very risky because even though they can give you a lot of reward, if they become a superpower, they can bring you in a lot of debt and lose a lot of money because if they fail and you put a lot of money into it, you fail. So that's why this happens. So that concludes part 1 of stocks, savings, and bonds. I hope this video has helped you understand what stocks, savings, and bonds are, and also what savings, investment, and also what risk means. I hope this video has helped you understand this. Stocks, savings, and bonds. Thank you for watching Taoping Airlines Math Industry. Like and subscribe, and watch out for part 2.